It is NFL Black Monday. That time of the year where coaches on the hot seat. We'll find out if they're going to be hanging around for another season or they will be given their walking papers. And we've already had some getting their walking papers already. And the day is only half over. We're going to discuss all the firings, current firings, on this Black Monday in the NFL. Plus, we'll get into the wild card weekend matchups. Pretty good ones. There were some pretty good ones, especially after yesterday's game, the last regular season games. We're gonna get into all that, and I'll try to get into some college football. I don't know if I'll be able to today, but not. We'll do it tomorrow. But we're gonna get into this big Monday. It's Black Monday. It's Manic and Panic Monday right here in the Total Sports Ozone. Big O with the big mouth coming at you on my first live stream of 2026. And before I start, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody out there. I hope you had a safe and enjoyable start to 2026. And this is my first live stream of the year. And it's a big one. So let's get right into it. As we all know, the day after the last day of the regular season is Black Monday in the NFL, where some teams will be looking for new head coaches. Some teams might be also looking for new general managers as well. Now, last week on one of my podcasts, I put the over-under for coaches being fired, not counting the Giants and the Titans. I put the over-under for coaches, general managers being fired on Black Monday, either being fired or asking or forced to resign at 4. I said at least 4. At least 4 teams, not including the Giants and the Titans, who had already fired their head coaches like midway through the season. I said at least 4 teams by the time I start my live stream. At least 4 teams will be firing or their head coaches or asking their head coach to resign. And right now, we're at 4. And it started, and surprisingly, Black Monday started last night with a firing that surprised me. It really did surprise me when I found out the Atlanta Falcons had fired their head coach, Raheem Morris, and their general manager, Terry Fontenot. And the thing that had me weirded out about it was Atlanta was hot. I believe they had won their last 4 games. And they beat a couple of good teams to do so. They beat the Rams. They beat the Bucks. And I was thinking, okay, that might buy Raheem Morris another year. Unfortunately, Uncle Arthur, that is Arthur Blank, the owner and chairman of the Atlanta Falcons, said it wasn't good enough. And I have to agree with him. It was a surprising firing, but it surprised me that he did it this year. I figured he would the way the Falcons ended this season, I thought that it would have bought Raheem Morris at least one more year to try to get this right. Unfortunately, time was up after 2 years. Raheem Morris was let go last night after the Falcons' 1916 win. A couple of hours after that game, he was fired last night. Him and the general manager, Terry Fontenot. I guess back-to-back 8 and 9 seasons, just not good enough. Now, let's find out why the Falcons decided to part ways with Raheem Morris. It's simple as this. To me, it's simple as this. Because I'm a little bit of a Falcons fan, so I follow the team as close as I can. The reason why the Falcons have been mediocre the past couple of years, 8 and 9, was the fact that they have the innate I would say, just annoying inability to finish games. They cannot finish games. Now, let me explain. We all know, as we watch the NFL, as we followed the NFL, that games are won in the fourth quarter. Usually they're won late in the fourth quarter, like under 6 minutes or under. The Falcons have the just annoying, it's like gnawing at your teeth, inability to finish games where they've either had the lead or they are tied late. They just don't finish games. The Falcons can play with anybody. They have the talent on offense and defense. They had a top 10 defense this year. I believe it was top 5, top 6 defense this year. They have the ability to play with any team in the league. I truly believe that. They have the talent on both sides of the ball to play with any team in the league. They beat the Buffalo Bills. They beat the Los Angeles Rams. These are 2 playoff teams. And the Falcons beat them straight up. They can hang with any team in the league. Their problem, they can't finish. I give you a stat. This is why I believe Arthur Blank fired the coach and general manager. This is why. This plus a couple other things, but this is my main reason why I think he was fired. The Falcons this year went 8-9. They lost 5 of those 9 games that they lost. They either had the lead or was tied at the 2-minute warning of the game. Not the 2-minute warning in the second half, first half, the 2-minute warning of the fourth quarter. They either had the lead or was tied at the 2-minute warning in 5 of their 9 losses, and they lost the game. It's inexplicable. That to me is coaching. That's not on the players. That to me is on the coaching. That to me signals that you are not a great late game strategist. You do not know how to coach the team to the victory late in the game. With the game on the line, it's like you choke. That's been the Falcons' problem. It's been their problem really since they blew that lead in the Super Bowl back in 2017. That's been their problem. Their inability to close out games. Think about it. They went 8-9 this year. Tied for first place in the NFC South with Carolina and Tampa Bay, but because of tiebreakers and division schedule or division record, Carolina gets the nod to get to the playoffs. Had the Falcons won one of those 5 games where they had the lead or was tied at the 2-minute warning, they'd be in the playoffs. They'd be in the playoffs. With a division win, with a division championship, and hosting a playoff game. If they'd have won one of those games, the way the season played out, they'd have won one. Just one. I believe, and that is just so frustrating. And I'm pretty sure it was frustrating to Arthur Blank. And that's why. And they've been doing that for the past 2 years. Ever since Raheem Morris has been the coach. They hang with anybody. They have the talent. They have the talent to hang with any team in the league. They just don't finish. And then now, and they won the last 4 games, I believe. They found a way to finish these games, but it's too little, too late. Too little, too late. Now, the reason why Terry Fontenot was fired was, I think it was because of what you're doing with the Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix situation. You signed Kirk Cousins to a 4-year, $150, $160 million contract, and then 2-3 months later you draft Michael Penix? What the hell are you thinking? You already got your quarterback. You're paying him. What the hell are you doing drafting another one? In the first round, no doubt. When you had other needs, offensive line, linebacker. You had other needs on that team that needed to be addressed. Defensive lineman, an edge rusher, linebacker, offensive lineman. What the hell are you doing drafting a quarterback after you just paid one? I think, and as you see, as we all seen, I know all the Falcons fans have seen, the Michael Penix experiment has just not worked. If he can stay on the field. When he's on the field, he's at best mediocre. That's if he can stay on the field. Kirk Cousins, it seems like the offense flows a little better with Kirk Cousins. But the problem is, you signed Michael Penix too. What are you doing, general manager? That's a wasted draft pick. And it's a first-round pick, a high first-round pick. What are you doing wasting those type of picks on a team that's been swimming under 500 for the last 4 years? 4 or 5 years, really. What are you doing? I believe, to me, that is the reason why I believe Raheem Morris and Terry Fontenot got fired last night. They were on a roll too. They had won, they believe, their last 4 games, but too little, too late. It's their inability to finish, and Terry Fontenot's his thought process going into drafts leaves a lot to be desired when putting together the team and when exploring free agency. It leaves a lot to be desired. They're both gone. I hate it for Raheem Morris. I think he deserved at least 1 more year to try to get this right, but he had to pick a quarterback, and he picked Kirk Cousins. I think he should have rolled with Kirk Cousins from the beginning, and if he would, he'd probably still be the head coach. But the main thing is the inability to finish games. The inability to finish big games, especially when they've had the lead late, very late. Again, 5 losses this year, just this year, where they've had the lead or was tied at the 2-minute warning, and they couldn't finish the deal. Win one of those games, you're in the playoffs. So that's one team who's going to be looking for a new head coach. And I believe the scuttlebutt is I believe Rich McKay was moved out of the president of football operations, and the scuttlebutt, the rumor has it that Matt Ryan, Atlanta Falcons' best quarterback that they've ever had, will be pegged as the new director of football operations. And I think that's a home run move. Matt Ryan's smart. He's a smart cookie. And he's more in tune with the Falcons than I believe the head coach was. I truly believe that. He's more in tune to the Falcons and what they need and how everything should go than Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris ever was. So I believe he can be the man to turn this thing around. And the thing is, the Falcons are not that far away. If you watch them play, they have a really good defense. They have they have weapons on offense if they can all stay healthy. Bijan Robinson is a beast. Like I said in one of my podcasts last week, he should be in the conversation for Offensive Player of the Year. That's how good Bijan Robinson has been. So it's not like the cupboard is bare, whoever becomes the Falcons' new head coach. It's not like he got to start from scratch. He's got weapons, and he's got a decent defense. This team is not far away. They just need to learn how to finish games. They got to get it into the mindset that games are not won in the first and second quarter. They're won in the fourth quarter. And a lot of these games are won after with 5 minutes or less left in the game. That's winning time. And this team needs a coach that will instill that mentality. You play until the final gun. Do not stop. Do not let up until the final gun. That's the kind of coach I believe this team needs. But that's one team. That was last night. Then this morning came around. And it started when I woke up this morning. I was hunting around on my social media list. Just wait. And just wait. On my social media feed. I was just waiting and waiting. And boom. At about 9 o'clock my time, I found out it was posted on my social media feed that the Cleveland Browns had let go of Kevin Stefanski. And I wasn't surprised. I was just surprised. I was just wondering, when would it be? When will it happen? Will it happen today? Will it happen yesterday? Will it happen tomorrow? Just when. If you're a Browns fan, you knew Kevin was gone. You knew he was gone. You knew that after he benched Dylan Gabriel and brought in a Shadur Sanders who wasn't prepared. You knew he was gone. You knew it. It was just a matter of, I believe that the Haslam's did the right thing by waiting till the end of the season to let him go. But you knew he was gone. And the question I have with this firing is, was it the right move? I have to say it was. But we're talking about a head coach that won head coach of the year twice in his 6 years in Cleveland. Got this team to the playoffs twice. Even won a playoff game. Beating the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Where did he fail? Where most coaches fail? At the most important position on the team. Quarterback. He could not just stick with a QB. He could not ride or die with QB. I don't know. You probably heard the number, but if you haven't, I'm going to repeat it. He's used 13 starting quarterbacks in his 6 years as head coach of the Browns. 13. 13. Come on now. You're not going to win when you're that unstable at the most important position on the team. I mean, the stat is that's just his tenure. He used 13 different quarterbacks. Started at least one game for the Cleveland Browns in his 6 years. Overall, since 1999, when the Browns were rebirthed, they've used 46 different starting quarterbacks. 46. You wonder why the Browns have lived in poverty over the past 25, 26, 27 years? That's why. No stability at quarterback. None. They haven't had none. His decisions about Baker Mayfield, about I think his downfall, and you knew he was going to be the fall guy, is still eating his team up. The Deshaun Watson trade. Simple as that. Which is why I'm wondering why Andrew Berry was retained as general manager. Maybe because the owners of the team, Jimmy and Dee Haslam, had to sign off on that trade that brought Deshaun Watson to Cleveland and gave up not one, not two, but 3 first-round picks. So, the Haslams are more just as culpable in this Deshaun Watson mess as the general manager. Because I'm pretty sure the Haslams had to sign off on him. They're the one paying him. And they're the ones that had to agree to paying Deshaun Watson $230 million, all guaranteed, over 5 years. They had to agree to that. So you really can't throw all that blame on Andrew Berry for the Deshaun Watson fiasco, as I would like to call it. You can't blame it all on Andrew Berry. The Haslam's had to sign off on it. They're the ones that are cutting them checks. They had to sign off on it. And it's been a disaster. Nothing but a total mitigated disaster. But the thing is, Kevin Stefanski, he had Joe Flacco. He called Joe Flacco off the couch and brought him in. Said, rescue us, please. And he did. Guided us to the playoffs. My question to Kevin, what Kevin went wrong was not keeping him, not making a bigger stink on keeping him in 2024. He should have kept him, but no, he let him go. So here we go, all with the because of the Deshaun Watson. You should have kept Flacco. He's the one. Kevin Stefanski is the one that has to make the decision who plays and who don't, who starts and who don't. Now, I truly believe that Stefanski was never sold on Deshaun Watson. I don't think he was ever sold on him. Why? Because you've seen Deshaun Watson since he became a Brown. He's nothing like he was when he was in Houston. And that's on the coach. The coach is the one, he's supposed to be Kevin Stefanski. He's supposed to be a quarterback guru, a quarterback whisperer. That means he's supposed to bring out the best in his QBs. He never even tried to do that with Deshaun Watson. And I think that's where his downfall started. He never tried to bring out the best in Deshaun Watson. Y'all remember at one time Deshaun Watson was probably the second or third best quarterback in all the NFL, behind maybe Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. He was right up there. He was an MVP candidate. And then he had the off-field issues. And then ever since then, he's come to Cleveland and he has, if he's played, he has been terrible. That's the coach. And I believe, don't the head coach have a little bit of a say in who gets brought in as a QB, especially a quarterback that's going to cost you 3 first-round picks? Don't the head coach have a little bit of say in that? And he should have said something. I don't think he said anything towards this end. And so we had this quarterback carousel. And we still have it. And that's what happens. And what happens with that? You lose the locker room. And I believe Kevin Stefanski over the last couple of years lost the locker room. I mean, he got rid of Nick Chubb, who was not only a teammate, a favorite teammate, he was a fan favorite. Got rid of him. You got rid of Amari Cooper. You got rid of players, veterans, that helped this team to heights they hadn't had, to heights that they had not had since they were rebirthed. And you got rid of them. And you never developed anybody in their place. And that falls on the coach. Plus, he's supposed to be some kind of offensive genius, some offensive guru. The Browns ranked next to last or last in almost every major offensive category. Yards per game, points per game, rushing yard, passing yardage per game, average yardage per play. They rank either next to last or dead last. And the shameful thing about it is they wasted at least 2 or 3 good years of a top 10 defense. They wasted it. And somebody's head had to roll. And that was head coach Kevin Stefanski. Now, do I think Kevin Stefanski deserves to be a coach somewhere else? Yes, I do. I mean, he's won the coach of the year twice. So it's not like he don't know how to coach. But with this team in the situation it's in right now, instability at quarterback, no wide receivers, no nothing in the way of offense. He definitely needs to go. And I personally, as a Browns fan, wish him well, and I wish him much success wherever he goes next. But this team, they need a head coach that can light a fire under that offense's ass. They need a head coach that can light a fire on the whole team's ass. That's what they need. And I know there's some candidates out there. I know Jim Schwartz. A lot of the players, especially on defense, and a lot of fans would like to see Jim Schwartz take another swing as head coach, especially with this team, especially what he's done with the defense. I know there's Brian Flores, who's up there in Minnesota. He's a hot candidate. He's been a hot topic on the discussion as being a replacement. Plus, there's a couple of others. But whoever is the head coach, the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns, he has to light a fire under this team's ass and hold everyone, including Deshaun Watson and his $230 million ass, accountable. That's what this team needs. We'll see what happens. Big O with the big mouth, Total Sports Ozone. Who else got the boot? Oh yeah, the Las Vegas Raiders was next on the chopping block, chopping off Pete Carroll's head. After one season, Pete Carroll was let go as head coach. He had already fired his offensive coordinator and special teams coordinator. But in the end, it all falls on the head coach. And let's face it, the Raiders were horrible. There was nowhere on this team where they were good. There was nowhere on this team where they were even mediocre. We talking 3-14. They won yesterday on field goals. They won yesterday's game on field goals and a safety. Yeah. They couldn't even score a touchdown in their home stadium. They were horrible all year long. If I was a Raiders fan, I would wonder how you watch the team. How do you watch them? How did you watch them? My hats go off to you if you watch them. My hats go off to the Raiders fans who attended the games. Because I couldn't do it. I definitely couldn't spend my hard-earned money watching that team suckers the way they did this year. There was nowhere on this team, offense, defense, special teams, nowhere on this team that you could say, oh, there's some hope. We got some hope right there. I don't know. We might be able to do a little something right there. None. There was none. There was none. And Pete Carroll, Pete Carroll is a great coach. We all know that. He's won national titles at USC. He's won a Super Bowl and been another one with the Seattle Seahawks. Not like Pete Carroll don't know how to coach. He does. But with this team and the roster, the way it is made up, I don't think he was the right fit. I honestly never thought he was the right fit. I think the Raiders need to get a younger coordinator, a younger offensive coordinator, something like that, a young assistant head coach, somebody younger that can more speak to this team, more relate to the core players of this team, whoever the hell that is. But I think that's the way which way the Raiders should go. Now I heard Tom Brady, who I believe is part owner of the Raiders, he's going to have a little bit of a hand in who's going to be the next, who's going to get picked as a new head coach. So you might want to listen to number 12. You might want to listen to him. He knows a little something about winning. So I don't know. You might want to listen to the man. If you got a guy on your team and running your organization that's won 7 Super Bowls and been to 10, you might want to listen. He knows a little something about one. Not much, but a little bit. But I heard he's going to be deep in the process of the Raiders finding a new head coach. So that's number 3. That's just today or within the last 24 hours. Falcons fired their head coach last night. And then we got Raiders letting go of Pete Carroll, Browns letting go of Kevin Stefanski this morning. And then just about an hour ago, a half hour ago, the Arizona Cardinals. I said it was 4. I said over-under was 4. Cardinals are number 4. They have let go of head coach Jonathan Gannon after, 3 years? Gannon went 15-36, and it's just like he could never get this team to buy into what he was selling. I don't think so. And it didn't help that Kyler Murray couldn't stay on the field. It did not help one bit. Kyler Murray he has to make it to be an excellent quarterback. But if he doesn't buy into it, who else is going to buy into it on the team? And it's not like the Cardinals don't have talent. They do. But with injuries and instability, especially on defense, it's like, and the fact that he could not get this team to buy what he was selling. He had to go. On the 3-14 season, and you're in the division, probably the best and hardest division in the NFL, where the other 3 teams made the playoffs. Yes, you can see why the Cardinals moved on from Jonathan Gannon. You can see why. They're the ones holding up the bottom in the NFC West. And all 3 of the other teams in the West, the Seahawks, the 49ers, and the Rams, they've all made the playoffs. And since Gannon was the head coach, all 3 of them teams have made multiple playoff trips. Cardinals haven't. Something, again, my reasoning behind them letting him go, simple. I don't think the players ever bought into what he was selling. I don't even think so. I truly don't believe they were buying until they're selling. So, whoever it is becomes the Cardinals' new head coach is not, again, it isn't like the cupboard is bare. The cupboard is not bare. However, the scheme got to fit the players, especially on offense. Whatever scheme it is on offense, whatever they trying to do on offense, 1 gap, 2 gap, I don't care. Whatever they try to do on offense has to fit the personnel. But we're talking about a complete and total rebuild. And that coach won't be around to finish it. Whoever it is, he probably won't be around to finish said rebuild. So the Cardinals have to do their due diligence and remember, and they got to make a decision about Kyler Murray. Whoever is I think they need to make a decision on Kyler Murray before they get their new head coach. Is he going to be the man going forward, or do you let him ride? So if I'm like the general manager or president of operations for the Cardinals, I got to make a decision about Kyler Murray first. Do I keep him or do I let him go? Because he's been up and down. Let's face it, last couple of years, he's been up and down like a yo-yo. One day he is hot as a firecracker, the next day he's cold as ice. What do you do with him? And really, and it seems like Kyler Murray is not interested. Ever since he signed that big money contract, he's not interested mentally in getting better. If you haven't noticed that, I don't know if a lot of y'all watched a lot of Cardinals games, but all the Cardinals games I've watched, it seems like Kyler Murray is not, he's not interested or he's incapable of getting better. If that may be a little weird, but that's what it seems like to me. He's either incapable or not even interested in taking his game to the next level. And that's why the Cardinals have sucked for the last few years. When your main quarterback, the one you paying them big money dollars, if he's not interested in taking the next step, why should anybody else? Why should anybody else on the team? Anybody, even the place kicker, why should they be interested in trying to get better? So, whoever is the new head coach, again, I don't know if they should do it before or after, but it would be before I hire a new head coach. I'm going to make a decision about Kyler Murray. And if it is my decision, he's gone. I'm letting him go somehow, some way, where it won't kill me cap-wise. But he got to ride. Because if he's not interested in getting better, what the hell are you doing on my team? I don't need you. I'll get somebody else. And then I'll hire a head coach again. I make a decision about Kyler Murray, hire new head coach, let him get the quarterback he feels he can win with, let him ride or die with it, and let's see what happens. That's what I think should happen with the Arizona Cardinals. So, just today, and between last night and today, we've had 4 teams looking for firing their head coach, with one team letting go of their general manager. Now, I've heard that the Cincinnati Bengals have kept both head coach Zach Taylor and the director of player personnel, Duke Tubman, as they will be back for another year. This should be it. If he don't, and now, but now with the Bengals, yeah, Zach Taylor deserves at least one more shot, but you got to get Joe Burrow, your franchise QB, you got to get him some help on the line. You got to. I mean, if you're going to keep him, if you're going to keep the coach and the director of player personnel, you better tell them to do their job, especially the player personnel director. You better do your job. Protect your quarterback. Get him some insurance. That's what he needs now. Like, it's like a house. Like I said this last week. It's like like having a house. When you that first check you write for the house, that first payment is the rent or a mortgage. That's the quarterback. You done that. The next payment should be for the insurance. That's your offensive line. And right now, I don't know what kind of insurance they're going with. They damn sure ain't got State Farm or Progressive or even Liberty Mutual with the damn emu. They got some kind of Rudy Poo off to the side insurance you ain't never heard of. That's their offensive line. They need to bring their insurance to at least Allstate so the house can look better. You already got good furnishings in the house. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. You got good furnishings. Yes. But it's still, what good is it? The house gonna burn down because you have weak insurance. If I'm anywhere in the ear of the owner of the Bengals, Mike Brown, I'm sitting in the room with their director of player personnel, and they gotta have a long discussion about what we can do to protect our QB. Let's face it, when Joe Burrow's in, the Bengals are good. They're damn good. They need a little bit of help on defense, but they always have a chance when Joe Burrow's healthy and on his game. And usually when he's healthy, like 100% healthy, Bengals are a hard team to beat. They are a hard team to beat when he's healthy. When he's not healthy, well, we all know. Bengals are done. And he usually gets beat up a lot because his offensive line isn't worth a damn. The Bengals have to get that fixed. If they want to ever become a contender again, and not just the AFC North, but in all the AFC period. When you got a franchise quarterback, you got to protect him. Somebody needs to get that in the owner's head. Just find out if he'll open up his purse strings and do that. I doubt it. We'll see. But Zach Taylor, you'll get one more go at it for 2026. Now, we already know that the Giants and the Titans will be looking for new head coaches. So right now, we have 6 teams right now that will be looking for new head coaches in 2026. It's going to be a fun off season. And the good thing, but the good news is, well, most of these teams, they got high draft picks. They got high first round draft picks. The Raiders, whoever's their head coach, whoever their new head coach should be frothing at the mouth. You got the number 1 pick in the draft next year. The Giants, I believe you got the number 2. Hell, even the Browns, who just let go of Kevin Stefanski, they're going to be picking number 6. So they're going to be getting somebody of quality. But where? The question with the Browns is, who are they going to pick up in number 1? They got 2 first-round picks. They got their own, and they got Jacksonville's. When they traded, they got Jacksonville's when they traded down and switched places with Jacksonville in last year's draft, so the Jaguars could pick Travis Hunter. So they got 2 first-round picks. So whoever's their new head coach, not only are you coming in with a defense that has the best defensive player in the league with it, you also have 2 first-round picks. 2. Let's see what they do with them. Let's see where they're going to go. I'm pretty sure the Browns are going to find a new head coach, probably within the next, I would say by the end of this month. Probably even sooner. I will give it about 3 weeks. And within 3 weeks, the Browns will probably have their new head coach. But we'll see what they do with it. We'll see. Going to be, considering they have to deal with the Deshaun Watson mess for at least one more year, the head coach is going to be a little bit handcuffed. But like I said, you got 2 first rounders. Where are you going to go? And the new head coach, what you're going to do with the 2 quarterbacks that are on the roster now, Dylan Gabriel and Shadir Sanders. Are you going to believe in one of them? Or are you going to say, forget both of them, and I just want my guy? That could happen. I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen. Saying, I don't want neither one of these 2. I want my guy. Hopefully, the next head coach of the Cleveland Browns, if he gets his guy, he got to ride or die with him. No more of these quarterback carousels. You got to ride or die with whoever you're going to pick to lead your team at quarterback. That's all I'm looking for. Big O with the big mouth with the Total Sports Ozone. I'm keeping my eye on the listings and refreshing the screen to see if anybody else got fired. So far, we're still stuck at 4. 4 teams today losing, firing their head coaches so far. But the day is only roughly half over, so stay tuned. It could be some more. Now, let's get into the playoffs. Playoffs are now upon us. And we have our first round matchups. Wild card round, which starts Saturday. I believe there'll be 2 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday, and 1 on Monday. That's the playoff. That's the playoff scheduling as far as I knew from yesterday. we'll have two playoff games Saturday. Would you believe one of them was on Amazon Prime? Mm-hmm. But we got two games Saturday, three games on Sunday, and one on Monday. So here's the wild card round. In the NFC, you got the Green Bay Packers. The 7th seed will be at home playing the Chicago. Well, not they'll be traveling to Chicago to play the Chicago Bears. That game will be Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, or that's one on Amazon Prime. I'm looking at the matchups now. I'm going to preview and give you my picks on these as we go through the week. And the other Saturday game will be the Los Angeles Rams, the 5 seed in the NFC, heading to Carolina to take on the Panthers, the 4 seed. That game's at 4:30 on Fox, Saturday. Now, in the Sunday, in the NFC, Sunday will be the 49ers heading to Philly to take on the Eagles. At the Eagles are the 3 seed, 49ers are dropped all the way to the 6 seed. That game is Sunday, 4:30 Eastern. Now, in the AFC, we got the 7th seed Los Angeles Chargers heading to Foxborough, Massachusetts to take on the 2 seed New England Patriots. That game is Sunday at 8 p.m. That's the primetime NBC game on Sunday. We also have the Buffalo Bills, the 6th seed, will be taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars, the 3 seed in Jacksonville. That game is Sunday at 1 p.m. CBS got that one. And then on the Monday night wild card wrap up will be the 5 seed Houston Texans heading to Pittsburgh to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. That game's at 8:15 Monday, and that will be on ABC and the ESPN. So those are the first round wild card matchups that will take place this upcoming weekend. What do you think? Who do you think gonna win? Who do you think gonna survive and advance? Let me know. Drop me a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what I'm saying, what I'm hearing, what I'm talking about, or if you don't like it. Let me know. Let me know, please. Now, I'm going to end today's extravaganza by talking about one Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, he is hands down. I don't want to hear the arguments from anybody. Myles Garrett, hands down, is the best defensive player in the National Football League. He inherited that mantle from Aaron Donald. Yes, I know about T.J. Watt. Yes, I know about Michael Parsons. Yes, I know about this and that. Myles Garrett is the best defensive player in the league. It's not even close. It's not even close. Now, yesterday, the only reason why you will watch the Browns and Bengals play when neither team had nothing to shoot for, but Myles Garrett did. He was 1 sack away from breaking the single season all-time sack record. And he did it. With 5 minutes left in the game, he did it. He got that 1 sack on Joe Burrow and now sits on top of the heap at 23 sacks for the season. Now, I'm hearing all this noise. Of course, you're going to hear the jealousy and the hate, especially from Steelers fans, especially from J.J. Watt fans. I heard it all yesterday, and it still goes on today from all these Steelers fans and la-da-da, that Myles Garrett, it took him 17 games to break the sack record. Who the hell cares? I don't care if it took him 19 games. I don't care. Obviously, you guys don't know how hard that is to pull that off when you're constantly double teamed. Constantly. I mean, I guess the Browns ain't been worth watching. So a lot of you haters are talking all this smack. Hasn't seen Myles Garrett play over the course of a season. I mean, how many times that young man gets double teamed? Yes, sometimes he has a penchant for jumping off sides, and he gets called. He gets called. But do you know how many times that man gets double teamed? 65%. That's right. 65% of his snaps, he's double teamed. He's double teamed. And yet, for him to pull off this feat, we're talking about a record that stood for 20 plus years that was equaled by TJ Watt about 4 years back. For him to pull this off by constantly getting double teamed, he's the best there is right now as an edge rusher. He's the best defensive player, period. I don't want to hear about, it took 17 games. He didn't. He got 23 sacks and 23 sacks now in 437 snaps. 437 defensive snaps. I don't want to hear it from any other haters, the Steelers fans, the TJ Watt fans. I don't want to hear it. Your point is irrelevant. He is now the sack record. You can cry all you want. Or you can say, TJ Watt, I don't want to hear it. I didn't even want to hear from Michael Strahan himself. He took him 17 years. I don't care. You want to blame someone? Blame the league for adding one extra game to the regular season schedule. If you want to do that. You can blame the league for doing that. You can blame Roger Goodell for adding one extra game to the regular season. You can do that. You can blame Roger Goodell for adding an extra bye week. You can blame Roger Goodell for that. What you cannot do is blame Myles Garrett. Because when being double teamed 2/3 of the time he's on the field, he still got 23 sacks. 23. Instead of hating, you need to congratulate. Even if you hate the Browns. Even if you can stand them, even no matter how you feel about them, you gotta appreciate greatness. I do. When TJ Watt broke the record or tied the record, as much as I hate the Steelers, big props to him. Hard to do that. Get that many sacks in one season when you know you're getting double teamed, when you know you got that big left tackle that you got to go around, and you got to go around pretty much the best left tackle on the other team week after week after week. You got to give props to Myles Garrett. You have to. I mean, 23 sacks and 437 snaps when you're constantly being double teamed. Who does that? Who could do that? That's an amazing feat. And my congratulations goes out to Myles Garrett for accomplishing such an amazing feat to get that many sacks in one season. I don't care if it was 16 games, 17 games. I don't care. It's a hard thing to do. And my hat goes off to Myles Garrett, and I congratulate him. And that's one award that you know is already wrapped up. Defensive Player of the Year. Ain't nobody coming close. Nobody. You can hate all you want. You can say what you want. Ain't nobody coming close to that one. He's Defensive Player of the Year, and we don't even need to vote. We don't even need to have a vote. He's Defensive Player of the Year, period. We're going to have discussion about who could be MVP, who should be Coach of the Year, who's going to be Offensive Player of the Year. We can have, we will have discussions on that. Oh, yeah, definitely. But there is no discussion, no debate on who's Defensive Player of the Year. When you set the single season sack record, you got that award hands down. You really don't even need to show up at ceremony. Let them mail you the trophy. You good. They know you got it. Everybody knows you got it. And the vote shouldn't even be close. Shouldn't even be close. My congratulations to Myles Garrett. Number 95 of the Cleveland Browns. Single season sack record, 23 sacks. It's done. It's in the books. You cry all you want. It ain't going to change nothing. 23 sacks is 23 sacks. Period. And that'll do it for me on my first podcast of the year in the Total Sports Ozone. Tomorrow, I'll do my last pick top 5 Tuesday. This will be my last one for the 2025 regular season. And we're going to preview college football playoffs. They keep going on. We're in the semifinals. They start Thursday. Yes, I know my team got bounced out. I was there. I saw it. We're going to get into that and why and what happens. We'll get into that tomorrow as when we preview the 2 semifinal games. Georgia being bounced out. Ole Miss will be playing Miami. And what's the other one? Oregon and Indiana, the rematch. You know what? If you've been listening to me, you know what I've said about teams playing another team twice in the same season. You know what I've said about it. I'm not gonna move from that. But we'll preview that game tomorrow. Right here in the Total Sports Ozone. Have a good day.